If you need any Xbox or PlayStation codes or any cheap PC games, use the referral link in the description. It will take you over to g2a.com. They already have a discount on most of their goods, and if you use the code CHES at checkout, you can get yourself an extra 3% off as well. Hey guys, how's it going? Ches back again, and welcome to episode number 2 of the Career Mode RTG, the return to glory with Nottingham Forest. Thank you so much for the overwhelmingly positive response to the first episode that went up last night. You guys were incredibly fantastic with the way that video was received. We've had over 1,500 likes, almost, as I record this Sunday afternoon, almost 700 comments of transfer suggestions. As such, I haven't been able to narrow down a shortlist just yet. Obviously, haven't had much time to go from episode 1 to episode 2, and my scouts are out looking at about 300 different players right now, so we're not able to narrow down exact targets just yet, but we will do over the upcoming 2 or 3 episodes. Obviously, I have been able to take some of your suggestions into account for today's episode, and that will happen a little bit later on in the video. We're playing the first game of the group stage, though, in the pre-season tournament with my strongest 11. We're playing the 4-4-2 by default. There were quite a few suggestions as well of perhaps different formations that we could try out during this pre-season tournament. I started initially with the default 4-4-2 that Nottingham Forest is set with, and with the strongest 11 that I felt I could field for this first game against the Belgian side. I think it's Uversted, KV Uversted, and actually someone messaged me on Twitter saying actually Uversted are like their local side in Belgium, which is pretty cool. But we're 2-0 up here in the 80th minute when I made a few changes. Obviously pre-season now you can make multiple changes in career mode in the pre-season friendlies. There's a no limit whatsoever to the amount of substitutions you can make, so I made 4 changes and immediately someone scored. So we were 3-0 up after 82 minutes. We were actually very dominant in this game. It gave me a real positive buzz about the potential for this Nottingham Forest first team with the way that we could perhaps attack the Championship this season. In real life, they really aren't having the best of time of things. They did get a good victory this weekend, actually, with a 3-0 win at home against Fulham. We are going to make it 4-0 here through Tom Walker, the youngster. He's 64 rated, I believe, right now, but I've been told by you guys in the comment section that he has pretty decent potential to get to the mid-70s, so he could be a running theme of our starting lineup throughout the first 3 or 4 years of this series here at Nottingham Forest. We will try and maximise his potential. For this second game, obviously the group stages in these pre-season tournaments, the games come like after every 3 days or so, so we were pretty tight for player fitness. How that hasn't crossed the line, by the way, I've absolutely no idea. De Vries was the only player starting in this 11 that started the first friendly. This was a complete rotation side, trying to get a feel of everybody in this squad, and I have to be honest, whilst the first team was absolutely phenomenal in the game against Uversted, this game against the Turkish side was not very positive whatsoever. Again, De Vries with a wonderful save to stop them from taking the lead. A brilliant free kick. How we're not 2-0 down by now, with the defender clearing the ball literally with millimetres of it left to go over the line before it counted. And a brilliant last-ditch save there from the goalkeeper to stop it going over the line. We really were on the back foot here. We should be quite far behind. Hadn't really been able to threaten so far going the other way. Made a few changes as well again in the second half, hoping to give us the same sort of fresh approach that it did in the first game, but as it turned out, things just continued the way they were going. De Vries again with another very good save in the 69th minute to give us a scoreless draw against a side that I'm not even going to try and pronounce because I will butcher it and it will be embarrassing, and I'm not even going to bother. The Turkish side from the Turkish division. We get a 0-0 draw, which is a fair result considering the weakness of that side, which clearly proves to me, whilst the first team are fantastic, the rotation options we have here at Nottingham Forest, not that good. So we are going to have to strengthen. We did know that we wanted to strengthen. I didn't quite know that we needed to strengthen that badly. So it's going to be a very hectic opening transfer window here, I feel, at Nottingham Forest. We have about £10.5 million to spend. Tom Walker, though, after coming off the bench and scoring in the first game, I gave him the chance to start here against AZ Alkmaar, and he got himself a goal. Britta Sombolonga with a very powerful shot that was well saved by their goalkeeper, but Walker was there on the rebound with the header to make it 1-0. Nice ball around the corner here to Ebesilio as well, who's obviously on loan. We are thinking about making that move permanent, either as soon as possible so that he doesn't cost as much, or at the end of the season when we might have more money. We're going to have to play that one by ear, I think, and see what happens, what develops throughout this transfer window. But Jack Hobbs here just kind of stands the man up, doesn't commit to a tackle until he's absolutely sure that he can win the ball. And I was really pleased with the way that he just kind of jockeyed with him there and got himself throwing into tackles further up the pitch as well, although unfortunately went straight back to the AZ man, and that is another top save by Dorian de Vries. He's made some fantastic saves. I know I said in yesterday's episode that I really want a goalkeeper, but I think we should be okay with de Vries for now. Goalkeeper is not necessarily the main issue right now, and that's what this pre-season period was all about. If we hadn't played the pre-season games, I wouldn't have known that we could have perhaps spent money elsewhere, and I may have gone out and bought, say, Jack Butland or someone like that, who was heavily suggested in the comment section yesterday, when we don't necessarily need him. We can concentrate higher up the pitch or on the outfield players for now, maybe bring in a lone keeper, but Dorian de Vries, considering Diego Benalia was able to play pretty much every game for us at Wolfsburg, as long as de Vries can avoid injury, he should be able to play every game for us in this first season, and judging by his performances in the first team in these opening 3 games, he seems to be a pretty safe goalkeeper. We do get a 2-0 lead here thanks to Henry Lansbury from the penalty spot after the hour mark or so here against AZ Alkmaar. So we have 4 points before this game, obviously, in the group stage, and we're quite solidly 2-0 up here. Again, another smart save from de Vries in between the sticks to keep our lead intact. And 3 clean sheets, in fairness, so far. No goals for oppositions. I was hoping that that would remain the case between now and the end of the game. Hoopertz is played in behind here, though, but he can't find the target. So we get a 3-0 victory, no, 4-0, sorry, victory against Uversted in the first game. Somehow manage a 0-0 draw against the Turkish side. Asombalonga is going to turn inside here, then lay it across to Robert Tesha, who's there to side foot the ball home to give us a 3-0 lead and eventually a 3-0 win here against AZ Alkmaar as well, proving again that the first team here, even with a couple of extra changes like Tom Walker starting up top instead of Nelson Oliveira, who did score a couple of goals against Uversted, we definitely know now that that first team is pretty strong and should be good enough to help us challenge in the Championship. Whether we'll be good enough to challenge for automatic promotion, I'm not too sure. I haven't yet played any people that you would say are kind of the top half of the Championship level in this pre-season. You say AZ Alkmaar probably lower half of the Premier League level. The Turkish side, I've no idea what sort of rating their players are, and Uversted are probably, top half of League One, bottom half of the Championship kind of level when it comes to overall player quality. So we're not sure yet how well we'll get on with the league season, but I am positively impacted by the performances of the first team. We are taking into account, though, something that you guys told me to do in the comment section of yesterday's episode, and that was to recall Jamie Patterson. As you can see, we are recalling him here from his loan spell at Huddersfield. The left midfielder is coming back, so we do now have an extra wide midfielder, which is a position we did need to strengthen in. So I'm really pleased that we've been able to strengthen there without costing ourselves anything more than £72,000. We have taken an extra £800,000 from the group stage of the pre-season tournament so far, which is fantastic. The pre-season tournament is a perfect way to help improve our financial situation. We did use the 60% budget boost as well, which took us from £6.5 million to about £10 million, and that extra £800,000 will be crucial in getting us as much potential for players in this particular transfer window as we possibly can. Obviously, I've been training a few players as well as we move through the opening couple of weeks, and we'll do so again here. I've been simulating a lot of the training. I'm not that good at the training games. I found it over experience from the other series that we've been doing. I found it more beneficial to just simulate games, but I'm concentrating on players like Britta Sombolonga and Tom Walker, the striker, so that he can hopefully maximise his potential. Britta Sombolonga is already a well-established striker at Championship level, and we're hoping to improve him so that he can be good enough to get us out of the league and good enough to keep us in the Barclays Premier League by the time we get up to it. So that is where we are right now. I'm waiting on my scouts to come back and tell me everything about all of the players that you guys have suggested me. Please do continue to give me suggestions in the comment section down below. We are looking for suggestions in every given position as far as I can make out, considering the weakness of the rotation options. There isn't much depth here at Forest. I was hoping there was going to be, but it turns out that the depth that we have at the team, despite having numbers, we don't have the quality in numbers. So I really do need to strengthen as best I can, and I may be selling on a few more players than I thought I was going to be. But that is going to bring today's episode to a close. Thank you very much much for watching. Drop the video a like as well if you enjoyed, of course, and subscribe if you haven't already. If we could get over 1,000, maybe even over 1,500 likes again for this episode, that'd be absolutely superb. Honestly, I'm so thankful for you guys for the support that you've shown with this new series. I was really nervous about putting this new series out, but you guys have quelled those or quashed those nerves, and we'll have an episode number 1 of another brand new career mode tomorrow with Valencia going live at 1 PM. We'll have the 3rd episode of this series tomorrow evening as well, hopefully by which point the scouts will have come back and we can really get nailed on with the transfer window in this series. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and check all the social media links in the background. You can see then in the description down below, and a link to the merchandise store as well if you want a t-shirt. But for now, thank you very much for watching again. Thank you very much for your support again, and I will see you next time.